Hey everyone, I'm here in historic Roswell, Georgia this morning, and I'm with Jim and Carole Poole, who are Garden Gate's 2022 Reader Garden Award winners. And I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, welcome to Bentgrass Garden.
Oh, thanks. So this beautiful little arbor here, you designed that yourself, right, Jim?
Yes, I did. I had a great craftsman that did a wonderful job of fabricating it.
And then this new dawn rose climbs over it. It's a beautiful entrance to the garden. Should we go in and, I can't wait to go in and get a tour.
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, this is so pretty back here. Thank you so much for this tour.
We're glad you came.
Oh, it's so nice. So how long have you been here?
We moved here in 2012. We downsized. We were older. We were getting ready to get out. We had a big, much bigger house. It had a master on the main, but it was just too big to maintain. So we wanted something that was totally no steps, a smaller house.
Yeah.
And this is a historic area of Roswell, so we were able to, in 2012, we changed.
Nice. And the yard was...
Oh, the yard was a mess. The whole house was a little bit of a mess, but the yard was particularly a mess. There was a giant pine tree right here, giant, 3 or 4 feet in diameter, that we had to take down. Numerous other miscellaneous trees. The only thing that was really here that's here now is the 4 dogwoods and that big pink camellia on the end of the house right there.
Okay.
Everything else has been a process.
So you have a few anchor plants left from the original.
Yeah, we do.
Right.
Those, and they were, we used them in the locations they were situated in. Yeah.
And so how did you decide what to do with it?
Well, being a builder and working with landscape architects for a long time, I've always had a strong interest in the design process. I always spent more money on landscaping than most builders because I just love it. We have an apartment developer here in Atlanta that made a fortune out of having apartment communities that were just lush with landscaping. People didn't do it themselves, but they loved to live in that environment. And I've always loved that environment and loved the curb appeal that goes along with that.
Right. So who did your design work here?
Actually, me.
Nice. Perfect.
with my input from the conversing with all these landscape architects over the years and designing houses. And
well, it's a very distinct, it feels southern to me. It feels, of course the plants are what do well here. That makes sense to me. And you two have a kind of a partnership, a unique partnership in your gardening, I
Yes,
think.
we do.
Is that right?
Our partnership is really unique.
Yeah. So Jim, you're more the plant person and the gardener mostly. Is that right?
Yes.
And Carole, what's your role here?
Well, I help with the design. He rarely plants anything without my input. It's to, a little to the left or whatever. But we've been together 52 years, so we kind of work as a team.
Right.
We have to.
With everything.
And it's really just morphed, hasn't it? We didn't have a beginning, this is how everything's going to fit. Because one year we would do the pathway, the next year we did the terrace, then we did the panels, everything just kind of added as we're kind of looking at something else here. I think Jim came up with, I didn't know about recently.
Oh.
So you don't know what's going to be here next. Before long it'll just be a grass walkway between all the islands.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when you love to garden, it's you can't stop.
Yes, sir. Yeah. You want some of
every
everything.
time you go to somebody else's garden and you see something that you like, you say, hey, we can do that too.
I have an idea now. That's right.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, Carole, you're an artist, right?
Right. I'm a watercolor artist. I do commission work. And right now I'm mostly doing home portraits for people. But I really want to get more into the flowers and, get my inspiration from the garden and take it on into the studio. And
there's a lot here to work with.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's great. So, you have these really tidy, beautiful curving borders throughout all of these beds. And I see they're really sharply cut. I love that. And the pine straw is along the edge here. It just frames everything so beautifully.
Thank you. That's my thing. I like to throw it down and then blow it back in.
Oh yeah.
The little turn under. I've gotten okay at it. I'm not a pro.
And then I see you have a lot of roses and hydrangeas here.
Yeah.
What's the secret to growing roses here in Georgia?
Well, to be honest with you, we don't have the hybrid tea, difficult to maintain type.
Right.
We've got knockouts, New Dawn, and drift. We've got red drift over here and white drift out front. And, you know, fertilize them. We've got this thing that says F is for February and F is for fertilizer. We fertilize in February most things that bloom. And the watering when they're needed, and she's getting real good at deadheading. You know, if you deadhead them, you'll get a quicker refurbishment of reburst of the second blooming.
Right. So they bloom more than once for you here, yeah. And so choosing the right ones is the secret.
Yeah.
To some extent.
Yeah.
That's good. And well, let's keep walking and take a look at some of these other things. So what are some of your favorite times of year here in your garden?
The main design of this whole garden is to try to have something blooming almost year round.
Oh,
like
right.
we start off in the spring with forsythia, and even before that we have the camellias that bloom late winter, and sasanquas. Then we have the forsythia back here, and we have some spirea back there, and then the dogwoods come in, and this whole bank over here is 3 different kinds of azaleas. We got the first blooming coral bell pinks, and then those are in the Caroon variety, and then in the larger varieties we have the pink ruffle that comes in a little bit later, and then the ones that we love the most of all are the George Tabors, and we've got more of those than anything. We got 2 or 3 over here, a couple up there, about 10 out by the street out there.
Oh, wow.
And we've got a little bed of George Tabors and white ones over here that are just magnificent. And of course the dogwoods, and then we have tulips popping up out of the pots. That's all during the springtime. And then, you know, you have a lot of other things that come in and do their thing in the spring, like the jasmine, and the roses come in, and they start getting their attention in April and May. And they're the big show for April and May. And Carole's got a big iris garden over there that they stick their heads up and say they want a little attention somewhere along the way too. And we have daffodils, and then we get through all that, and the gardenias start coming in, and the roses again, and then of course all the perennials start popping up.
Right.
And the big thing we got this year is for perennials is we did about 20 new little dahlias, and we're starting to love those. And one of my favorites, of course, Carole can't quite get on board with this, is the canna lilies. And they are so dependable though, and they stand up high and proud.
And they're hardy here.
And they're hardy.
So they'll come
year
back,
round.
both the
They come
dahlias
back.
and the cannas are hardy and will come back all the time. So we just need to do a little bit more convincing here, right?
Yeah. she loves her irises and her hydrangeas.
Yeah. And we didn't mention the hydrangeas.
Yeah, I forgot y'all.
That's the show now, supposed to be. We didn't get a big batch this year.
Yeah.
Because
we had 2
spring,
freezes.
Yeah.
2 freezes. But these are pretty hardy, and then this is an older hydrangea that we don't know how old it is. We moved it from a house he was tearing down, and we just wanted to save it, brought it over here, and
it's a nice one.
We think it's 30, maybe 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
And you said you have,
and you have around 20 varieties or 20 different plants.
Yes, of hydrangeas.
A lot of different varieties, right? Both the big leaf with the big flowers like this, and then it looks like you have the panicle hydrangea, the limelight types, and that too. And then tucked along the front here, I see you have some New Guinea impatiens.
Yes.
They're actually sun patients, which is
really
big. Yeah, it is the New Guinea. They're bigger. They get bigger. They're about halfway there now with size.
So they'll just
we switch out our colors.
Halfway there. So they'll be wow.
Well, they get wide too. They'll touch each other eventually.
Wow. So this whole border will just be thick with the patients.
Yeah.
And they keep doing that all the way until we get a good freeze.
Okay, that's really reliable then. Nice. That's good. How do you, what are some of the challenges that you face here gardening? Heat? We're here in the middle of a heat wave right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so regular water.
Yeah. Yeah. We have an irrigation system that takes care of most of it, because then some of the individual pots and bed areas and special plants, we have to hand water them. And Carole's a great little pruner. She's a clipper.
Oh, right.
She's got 2 or 3 little tools that can
I
work
can
on
see
the
a
boxwood and
leaf
stuff.
a mile
yeah.
away.
Yeah. Yeah.
on my little
You have so many pretty
boxwoods.
Yes,
yeah.
your boxwoods are really,
Thank you.
really pretty.
I think they add a nice touch.
And this little vignette right here, it's nice to sit on, I'm guessing.
Yes.
But also it just looks so pretty from the patio up by the house.
I think I was telling you earlier that we had our little 50th wedding anniversary ceremony right there on that little terrace.
That's perfect.
Coming in from the arbor, and it worked out beautifully.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep looking at things.
Okay.
These screens are really unusual and pretty. I just like that. So is this jasmine growing on the screens?
Yes, it's Carolina jasmine. It's most years it's full of yellow, sometimes better than others.
And you designed and built these, or had these screens built for this spot too, right?
Yeah, at the same time, in the same process as doing the arbor.
I like the repetition of the white and lattice with the fence around the yard and the arbor and the screens. It's all really, and the birdhouses, all white too. And the other thing I noticed that you had tucked in behind here is a little bit of a workspace.
Yes.
That's so smart.
That's Carole's little potting area,
A little
work
potting
area,
path.
creative area. Yeah.
It's just so. I mean, it's just so tucked away. You can't see. I had no idea it was there until I walked around behind it.
I really do refer to it as a rock garden. Did you see my rock flowers?
Yeah, very cool. I like that in the path.
I get off at a tangent sometimes.
that big backdrop there is huge.
It
Burford
is.
hollies.
Those are beautiful.
It's difficult to trim, but we love the privacy that we get with the neighbor because of it.
How often do you prune them?
I have to get somebody on a 10-foot ladder to do it.
Once a year or
Every 2 or 3 years, because
every couple of years?
pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
think we're going to need a crane next time.
Oh
We do
gosh.
these guys
Yeah.
on top of
Did
them.
you planted them?
No.
Actually,
Actually,
no.
we did not.
No, we did not plant those either.
So they were here,
I just
okay.
think about that as always being a part.
Right. Yeah.
When we first moved here, though, you could see that other house, and we did encourage them to grow. So we get a
Oh,
better
so you sort of
screening.
rejuvenated
We love
them.
all of our neighbors, but we just
Yeah.
we do things in the backyard.
That's right. It's
have
nice to
parties, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
it's
you know.
just nice to
Yeah.
have privacy.
Yeah.
It's like a little wall.
Right. That's nice. And I like that the screens aren't solid. I mean, it's a great frame for the container in the middle, and it's just a really pretty design element to the garden.
Sometimes these drift roses here just love to make their show. At least
I
twice
bet.
a year. It's just
Yeah.
a solid red across there.
Pretty. That's nice. Yeah. It just something's different. I need to come back every month and see
do.
something
Yeah.
different.
You're invited.
Yeah.
Thank you. So tell me about this border. It's got a lot of color in it.
Yes, it does. It has anything that we want to put in there, actually. This has been our little trash garden, you know. If we buy something and it doesn't work down there, it goes in here. And so over the years, it's sort of progressed. And
Right.
then Jim anchored it with his beloved canna lilies, and it
Nice.
sort of took off. And now we're looking toward pollinating garden, you know.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got little water places for the bees, and we've got a little bee house, and we'll be seeing
fun.
what comes up.
Lots
This
of flowers in this
Yes.
bed. And what a charming container back here, a hay rack on the
Well,
wall.
thank you.
Did you say that didn't all come together?
No, it's 3 separate pieces. First we put that square up, and then the next year I added that little finial on the top, and then this year I added the little basket at the bottom that sits on legs.
That's really charming.
Yeah.
I like that.
It all
I
goes
like all the
together.
containers you have around the garden in general.
Well, thank
you have a lot
you.
of really pretty
Thank you.
mixed plantings and a mix of annuals and shrubs and all kinds of things
Right.
in your pots. Do you keep them going year round?
Yes and no. We do, some of our pots, like the ones up front, have the bent grass, boxwoods in the center of it.
Right.
To kind of anchor it. It stays there year round, but we
Right.
usually plant our pansies in the fall, and they, you know, pansies winter over here very well.
Nice. Yeah.
So they come out
Dusty
real
Miller.
strong. And the Dusty Miller. They
And they-
stay in the pots.
and snapdragons?
A few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
So those are sort of your winter annuals.
Yeah.
And then, so did you were telling me a story about maybe that you did some bulbs in containers, Jim?
Yes, as a surprise for her, I embellished the containers this last year with 9 tulip bulbs in each of the big containers. And when they came up, in the spring, she was very surprised,
And
pleasantly
delighted.
surprised because they were
Delighted.
gorgeous. They were the show of
They
the whole
were.
garden.
They
And
were.
we've got other tulips in here
they'll come up too.
and down there around the white crepe myrtle that come up annually. We have better success with the tulips coming back up than we do the daffodils, even though we got a whole bunch of daffodils out front. They just want to be divided and manicured a little bit. But the tulips, I love tulips. They come and they're so colorful, so beautiful in the
They
color.
are. Yeah, these right here are pink.
I'm
Real bright pink.
surprised. I'm surprised to hear that because you usually think of tulips as not
Not
returning
Yeah.
very
Yes,
well,
We're
right.
surprised
especially
of
in
it,
the
too.
South.
Yes.
We
So
were surprised too.
you have just the right spot.
I guess
Maybe.
they like this environment.
They
yeah.
must, yeah. Well, you also have this beautiful patio up here. I want to go up here and take a look at that too.
Okay.
This is such a cozy, comfortable patio. You must use it just all the time.
All the time. This
And-
is the first place I come every day.
And so it's good both evening and morning. And you have this shade covering, so even
Right.
most of the day, I bet you
Right.
can use it.
We can be out here most of the day. He built that, had it designed. He designed it. And each year we say we should make it a little bigger, you know, but it's perfect. Really.
We did a couple years ago.
Yeah,
They made
we
that
did
bigger.
add that
Yeah.
out there. You know, we're trying
Yeah.
to enlarge as we go.
Yeah, we have cookouts. One of our sons is a great griller, so he comes over and we sit and
Yeah.
have a cocktail while he grills for us. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't complain about
Yeah,
that. That
right,
sounds
right.
pretty good. That's great. And it's so comfortable. I mean, all the pillows and the furnishings, it's just really great. And the views, oh my gosh. I can just imagine just curling up on the couch with Pearl and enjoying,
do.
the sound of the fountain over here. And there's so many birds flying around. Do you watch birds a lot here?
Yes,
yes.
we do. He feeds the birds. They
I take
depend
care of
on
the
him.
birds. So there's a little woodpecker over there right now
Oh,
going after
yeah,
the
look
soot.
at it. Yeah, I
And
see
then there's
that.
their bird feeder hanging off the limb. And down there we have a bird feeder amongst all the bird houses. The squirrels think that's theirs.
They do.
And we have a little trouble keeping them away from this one, but they do okay.
Yeah, we'd rather them be on that one down there, so
Yeah.
we kind of put that down there
For the squirrels
rather
to
than
stay.
hanging
Yeah.
up here on the little
I mean-
delicate ones.
Right, that makes
Yeah.
sense. You don't want them to knock something
Right.
else down.
They will.
Yeah. And you have some houses too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Lots
about
of-
9 bird houses down there,
Okay.
and they're not always all occupied. But there are several, with the seasons, and some of them they wait in line for their turn. Same with this. It's so cute. They'll come to the fountain, and if there's 2 there, one will wait up there on the limb for his turn, and then so we've really enjoyed that fountain.
Constant entertainment.
Yeah. All right.
And you can use it because of the climate here in Georgia. You can use it.
Almost year round.
Yeah, almost. We drain it in December. So January, when we get our snow,
Right.
it's dry.
Right.
Well,
the
one
fountain
snow,
is, and
yeah.
the and
Our
the
one
patio-
snow of the year.
Right. So the patio you use almost
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 or so months of the year.
Yeah, we do.
Nice.
Yes.
That's really great. This has been such a fun tour. I have just loved seeing this perfectly kept garden and enjoyed meeting you and talking to you. And congratulations on winning the Reader Garden Award this year.
Thank you,
It's been just so fun.
We have just had a ball. Just like I was telling you, or I was telling Jim, that I couldn't wait to see Kristin and Jack in our little garden.
Well, we couldn't wait either.
appreciate you coming.
We were excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You.